Hey everyone, Jason here. Another week, another episode of Only Murders in the Building. I'm going to be talking Season 2, Episode 4. So if you haven't watched this week's episode or any of the episodes up to this point, stop this video right now, head on over to Hulu and give them a watch. If you have seen up to this point, or that doesn't matter to you, you've been warned. So now that we're past the spoiler warning, let's get going. Little unfinished business from last week. There was a line in the episode that really resonated with me, and I'm surprised, given how long last week's video was, I'll try to keep it tight this week, that I didn't mention it in that video, and that was a line that Charles had said during his monologue when talking about, Bunny's murder, which was, "We here at Only Murders in the Building did not kill Bunny Folger, but with a simple act of kindness, we might have saved her life." Meaning, if they had invited her to the party, she might have still been alive. And that kind of made me think, that was pretty heartbreaking. And it made me think of, if only we step outside of ourselves, we as people step outside of ourselves and just do something for someone else, that we might make a difference more than we realize. That really resonated with me, and I just wanted to kind of mention it since I missed it last week. Well, anyway, let's get on to this week's episode. So, as I had suspected, we finally meet Lucy, the ex-girlfriend's daughter that Charles Hayden Savage kind of has been talking about throughout the first season and reconnected with in the finale. We see that they've actually been talking since that text, and some stuff has been going on. Her mom got remarried. She didn't attend the wedding. Instead, she came to the building the night that he was arrested. Which was interesting, and we'll get into that in a second. As I was hoping, it kind of peeled back some of the layers of Charles and his relationship with her, kind of who he is really, and how that relationship affected him. And we may get to see more of Lucy moving forward, considering some revelations that I'll get into a little later. We also find out that Charles had a hit single in Germany that topped the charts at 85th on the charts in Germany before the wall came down and stopped its upward momentum. Interestingly enough, that song is available to stream on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, wherever you get your music, and I've had that song stuck in my head pretty much all day. It is quite catchy, so check it out. Some more interesting things, like the murder weapon appearing in Charles's apartment. Somebody is definitely toying with them. This prompted Lucy to unveil a secret passageway that can be accessed through Charles's bathroom. I'm sure there are other access points throughout the building. Teddy Demas and Theo are back. They're, of course, under house arrest because they're awaiting trial. Teddy Demas vowed revenge against Oliver. You don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. But that all kind of, we all kind of saw the toll that all that took on Theo and Teddy's relationship when Oliver spied on them through the secret passages in the walls. And we also followed the lead of Nina, who we discover had plans for the Arconia, some kind of, as Charles put it, space pod that she's wants to put on the roof of the Arconia, something that Bunny never would have approved. So that, skyrocketed her suspicion around her as a suspect for sure. But one thing that was kind of glossed over was Howard coming into the apartment, because that resulted in, just after they had found the knife, Howard comes knocking at the door, and Oliver flung the knife into the ceiling, where it had stayed until pretty much the end of the episode. Howard came into the apartment and revealed to them that he got that he had been lying to them, and that he got his black eye because Nina punched him, and she has a violent streak. Again, putting her square in the crosshairs as their prime suspect. But I'm still pretty suspicious of Howard. Not that he's a suspect in the, maybe not that he's the murderer, but something weird is going on with Howard. But I still haven't quite figured that out yet. Maybe, again, he might still be a suspect. Who knows? So after going through the passages, they may or may not have determined that Nina did, in fact, kill Bunny. So they tried to confront her in her apartment with a gift basket, the same way they, confronted Sting in, the previous season. Actually, it was the same episode that they did that. It was funny. So when confronting Nina, her water broke and she went into labor. And, she says to the trio, you find out who did this and give me a few minutes with them, because I want to basically beat the crap out of them. Which kind of almost eliminated her as a suspect. No one's beyond suspicion at this point. The big kicker was that, Charles talked her through her, a panic as she was going into labor. And it was through that Mabel kind of convinced Lucy to open up to him, because they know she's hiding something, because she just shows up out of the blue. She reveals to him that she tried to come to see him that night. And we, through her perspective, find out that she actually did come to the building, and that she hid in the secret passages and not only overheard Bunny's murder, but potentially saw the killer, which I thought was an interesting twist. The killer then enters through the secret passages, kind of, sort of, maybe hears Lucy, tries to investigate in her direction, sneezes. That's an interesting bit. Sneezes. And then turns and heads back in the direction that they were going. So she was there that night. She may have seen the killer, and the killer sneezed. So we're looking for someone who has this sort of allergy, I would imagine. That doesn't really narrow it down at this point, but we'll see. There are still a few more episodes to go before, of course, we find out who the real killer is. My suspicion is still leaned towards Howard, and my other suspicions are still, I'm still not counting Alice out. I know she hasn't been around we haven't seen her since episode 2, but there's still something I find a bit off about her. So who knows? But I just really love this show, and it's a very fun, it's a very funny show. It's very interesting, intriguing. I love murder mysteries, especially shows like this, because they tend to be more interactive as you try to figure out who done it. So let me know what you thought of the revelations from this week, and what predictions you might have, what clues I might have missed, what things you might see coming up in future episodes. I always like to hear from you guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell to get all my updates on all my videos, including my Only Murders in the Building series. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I will see you next week. Bye.